Hello everybody! Welcome back to another episode of Let's Play Monster Hunter World. My name is Nightshade and I'll be your host tonight. Last episode we took on some quests and took out our first monster, which was the Great Jagras. Now, as you can see, I am wearing... well, you can't see it now because it's loading, but once it does finish loading, you can see that I'm wearing the Great Jagras armor. It gives you quite a lot of useful skills like speed eating and intimidator, which intimidates smaller monsters from attacking you, I believe. Yeah. Today we're gonna hopefully progress with the story a little bit more. Just trying to find my way around. I'll probably just cut. Oh, never mind. We just have to go to the provisions manager. I forgot what I was doing here. Yeah, that's one of the drawbacks of doing post-commentary, but it really does help with editing. It's a lot easier to manage.
You're too good to me.
Well, Fiber, is it true you're gonna help us rebuild the camp? That is excellent news. Yes, I am. Yeah, the cool thing about Monster Hunter World is that you get to pick your spawn points now, instead of just having one singular spawn point for every single quest, which is nice. Because, like, say you're hunting a monster whose natural habitat is like way deep in the area, and your starting camp is like in area 1, which is normally the farthest area, or yeah, the farthest starting area. Now you can have a choice to which camp you want to go to. Yeah, it's just explaining about the resource center and investigations. Pretty neat little system that is.
Okay.
I'll explain it a little bit later.
Underway. Meet me at the gate. Right now, we're in Astera. If you want to go on an expedition, open your world map and choose your destination. For this expedition, we need to head to the ancient forest. We can expand expeditions as we delve further into the new world. Pretty good incentive to explore, right?
I'd say it's a pretty good incentive. Let's see, do I have everything? Yeah, I think that's good enough. I just accidentally opened up, well, then I remembered that I hadn't eaten, so, well, I haven't eaten. That's that's proper grammar. Speak, you fool. I'll see you guys back when I eat food, because there's no point in showing that. Alright, so we got that taken care of, so now we can head out on our expedition. Never, ever, ever forget to eat. Like, that is the most important thing you can do in a Monster Hunter game. Like, there are stat boosting items that you can eat. That'll supplement for the fact that you forgot to eat a meal, but you don't want that to happen anyways. Just tutorial stuff. If you played Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate, then you would know how this works, but I'll give you a quick rundown. Basically, it's like a quest, but you don't get penalized if you die. There's no time limit. There's no rewards at the end. You keep whatever materials you harvest and gather. But there is a catch to this, and that's the fact that since there's no time limit to a quest, monsters can flee instead if you take too long with killing them.
If I get to the campsite first, or if you're lost,
I generally
open up your
love
map or
this
use your
mechanic.
scout flies to track me.
I think it's been there all
Whenever you leave
since
the base without signing up for a quest,
all the
you'll
way
go on an expedition.
back
There's no
when
time limit or
Try
cap on how many times
was
you're
a
allowed
thing.
to faint,
Yeah,
which means you can explore to your heart's content.
yeah, like what with Matthew Mercer says. Bleh, I said Mercer instead of Mercer. This is what happens when you record commentary at 10:30 at night. But it's fine. Just getting myself some footprints, and looky who we have here. Another Great Jagras. So you know what? Since I didn't do it last time, this might be a very good time to just explain the traits and basically go over what the Great Jagras can do. Alright, so the Great Jagras is the first monster that you will encounter in your Monster Hunter World journey. Its species is Fanged Wyverns. It's aggro type. It only attacks you if you provoke it first. As far as weaknesses go, it's weak to fire the most, then it goes ice and thunder. It's a little bit different in the bio, but give me some slack. Resistances, water, so I wouldn't recommend bringing a water elemental weapon for when you're fighting the Great Jagras. The breaks that you can get are the head, chest, and front claws. And if you break a part on a monster, then you get an added drop bonus. So, greater chance to get the material that you're looking for. Weak signs is it will start to vomit its food. As far as the loot drops go, you can get scales, Great Jagras manes, claws, and hides. It really helps to break the Great Jagras' head if you're looking for manes. The add-ons for this monster in particular are just the regular small Jagras. They can get a little annoying at times. For the recommended weapons, I would recommend something that hits extremely hard and has the ability to possibly stun and knock the monster out, like hammers and greatswords. Although hammers aren't that great for hitting the Jagrases themselves because they're quick. So I would recommend dual swords if you just want to cut the regular Jagrases down and then focus on the Great Jagras that way. Another thing that I would recommend is that you should really be careful for its charge attacks. And I think it has a tail swipe as well. Fortunately, it doesn't have a hip check, so there's no janky hitboxes to worry about here. It does have a bit of a death roll move, which can hurt. But if you went with the chainmail at the start of the game, it shouldn't be doing too much damage to you. Just make sure that you put enough distance between you and both the Great Jagras and the add-ons when you go and like sharpen your weapon or go and heal. Yeah, that's about all I have as far as information concerning the Great Jagras. So I hope you guys liked that little informative summary that I gave about the monster. I'll be doing this for every single monster in this game because I want the newer players to get as much information as possible. Because there are a lot of new players that are just starting with Monster Hunter World and they haven't started with older games like Try. Nice hit on the head. Like, that's another thing too. instead of you just being stuck in one place while you're mounting a monster, you can now move up and down the monster and target a specific part. Like if you wanted the head, you can get the head. That sounded wrong. You can break its head. If you wanted the back, you can break its back. You're no longer restricted to just one place. I think I'm just gonna cut until this thing is dead. Like, you've already seen... You know what? It's never mind, it's already dead. That was funny, like, oh, I'm gonna cut. Nope, it's dead. Never mind. Let's see what we get here. Scale. Another scale. And a main, so not bad. Not bad at all. So what I'll do here... Yeah, I'll just cut until I figure out where we're supposed to go. Oh, and I suppose I should mention this as well. If you ever get lost while you're on an expedition, or I think on a mission as well, you can just click on the base camp icon on the map, and you can just fast travel, like so. And no loading time either, so it's quite nice when you need to reorientate yourself. Like I always say, research is neat, but you need to eat first. That's not what she said, but there I go again, skipping through the text too fast. So now we're gonna cook some raw meat. Now the minigame here is a little bit different from past Monster Hunter games in the fact that it's a little faster.
Timing is everything. The color of the meat and the song are clues.
So you want to pull it off right now, like that. The jingle is only 3 to 4 seconds now. Now.
Nice! That looks so tasty.
There you go. Any more than that, and then it's going to be burnt meat. You want well done steaks, because it'll give you tons of stamina. Anyways, I'll cut. Wow, that took a while. Yeah, I was just kind of faffing about nothing you guys would want to see. But here we go. It's okay to get lost in a Monster Hunter game. At least you're familiarizing it with the locations with yourself. Well, hi there. Fancy meeting you here. I'm the editor in charge of the field guide. It's my job to learn and to set as much as possible about the wildlife. Capture, observe, study, verify, record, and play with any life here in the forest. Yeah, it is definitely crawling. If you capture any endemic animals, I will let you know. Cool. Sorry if my commentary is a tad bit awkward. I'm still getting used to this.
Hey, partner!
I'm going to crap my pants in 3, 2, 1. That's an engine off. Don't want to deal with that. I did not expect a giant T-Rex to pop out of freaking nowhere. That scared the heck out of me when I first saw it. And unlike the Great Jagras, that does not play around. Oh boy, that does not play around. This thing will actually aggro to you if it sees you. I don't know how it didn't see me right there, but yeah, this is where I just freak out and get the heck out of there. You can hear the music too is all intimidating. I'll be quiet.
Well, if we don't take care of that pest, the camp won't
Yeah,
last
that
the
thing
night.
has a bit of a Velociraptor-like appearance to it. One thing that I kind of like about this game is that they take a more dinosaur-like approach to monsters, which I think, at least for this area, which it's fitting because it's like prehistoric jungle kind of thing.
It's from an expedition.
Um,
Open the wildlife
I'll
map
cut
and switch
here
to the world
because
map.
I'm just
Then select Astera.
trying to find the monster, but I end up giving up and just returning to base. See you back at camp. Alright, so now that we're back, I'm just going to go ahead and organize my inventory and eat a meal and then prepare to hunt or accept bird-brained bandit. The text is a little small.
Oh, hello.
Well, hello, Fiver. We're all ready to open our tavern and gathering hub to the Celestial Pursuit. At the gathering hub, bleh, I need to stop skipping the text. Yeah, she's just talking about the multiplayer hub. I'll make a mental note to stop skipping the text. Let's just head up to the canteen and have ourselves a meal. Maybe later on, when the monsters start getting tougher, I will go for a defense boost instead of an attack boost. But with a general rule, you want an attack boosting meal because you want to deal as much damage as possible with a single charged attack when you're using a hammer. Because with hammers, it's all about the charge attacks. And getting their stuns off, too. I think there are armor skills. Yeah, there are armor skills that'll let you stun monsters easier. Alright, ate the meal. Let's see if I can talk to this guy. There we go. Your partner has an appetite that could put anybody to shame. Yeah, that's pretty true. Let's take our quest. This is bad. We can't let the monster tear everything apart. The Kulu-Ya-Ku, that's what it's called. Okay. Kinda sounds like Yan-Katku a little bit. There we go. Bird-brained bandit. Kulu-Ya-Ku. Yep. A little bit of inventory management, so I'm gonna edit that out. Yeah, that was just me putting items away and restocking my healing items and everything. You wouldn't want to see that. Take our potions and our rations and throwing knives, although I didn't use the throwing knives this time.
Hey, partner.
The Kulu-Ya-Ku reminds me of the Velociprey back in 4 Ultimate. The Velociprey was in Freedom Unite as well, but I just associate him with 4U because he had that jungle expedition site. I think with this game, you're not limited to just a jungle for expeditions. Yeah, you can go to any area you want for expeditions now, which is quite a nice touch. I can't remember if they let you do that in 4U. No, no, because they only had the one expedition area. Now this spot right here is a unique mushroom spot where you can gather quest mushrooms. You'll be doing that a lot. I like it because now there are designated places to get unique mushrooms, and it's not up to RNG as much anymore. Whereas in the older Monster Hunter games, unique mushrooms and crafting mushrooms would be bundled in the same gathering point, so you'd have RNG elements to it. And sometimes you'd have to wait for the gathering points to respawn, but not here. Just took my time and gathered some bones. Small Monster Hunter bones are quite useful in making bug nets. Well, I don't know if you need to carry around bug nets anymore, but that's how it worked in the older games. Pear shroom. I think if you cut a spore puff, it'll put monsters around that spore puff to sleep. Just some Jagras is not worth my time. I think it's a while before I find the monster. Meshlight ore is another useful resource. Always make sure that you have a little bit of Meshlight ore in the bank for low tier upgrades. Still haven't found that iron, or that the mystery material that's required to upgrade my hammer again. I'll find it eventually, I think. Just searching around for the Kulu-Ya-Ku, I think. No, it was Kulu-Ya-Ku. Yeah. It's a little weird in terms of pronunciation. There we go. Now we can start tracking it. I don't need a cut now. There we go. Now we got a nice trail. Can't wait to start farming ingredients for Mega Potions. They'll probably introduce the farm a little bit later. The farm has been a staple feature of the Monster Hunter series. It's where you can grow crops and other things so that you don't have to go out in the wild to farm for them. My top two things that I always grew were herbs and honey for Mega Potions. You never want to run out of Mega Potions. Just a heads up. There's our culprit, but I'm busy mining. I'm not going to stop the video again to do another bio for this monster. I'll do that next video, actually. Yeah, another thing I like about the scout flies is, like, it lets you ignore the monster if you want to just gather stuff around the area before fighting the monster. You don't even need paintballs, that's how good the scout flies are. The thing can move pretty fast, so dash juice wouldn't be a bad idea. Bitterbugs, used for catalysts, which can then be turned into life powder, I believe. There we go. Now, one thing to know about the Kulu-Ya-Ku is that it's rock that it holds to make hammers bounce off, depending on the sharpness of the hammer. Mine's green, so it bounces off. But maybe if you had a blue sharpness weapon, then you can hit it without any repercussions. Also, take advantage of the spark insects around you. Use that to blind and confuse the monster, allowing you to get free damage on it whenever possible. He has quick little swipes like that. And he can shove you. Didn't roll out early that time, I should have done that. There's certain points in a hammer swing's animation where you can roll out early, but there's a point where you're just stuck in the animation. So it's always a good idea to try and roll out of the animation early, so you don't get caught out and punished for it. See right there, my hammer's bouncing off. And he uses it as a bit of a shield too. He's a smart dinosaur, this one. The green sharpness on this weapon doesn't last for very long. Yeah, I would recommend that you keep a sizable distance between you and any monster, really, because they have attacks that can, well, most of them have attacks that can bridge the distance gap between you and them pretty easily. Though if you're a bow gunner, you shouldn't have, or I should say any ranged class of weapons, you shouldn't have that much problems with spacing. Get a nice little speed boost from the slope. You can also use the item wheel if you don't want to select what you want to use. So I just prefer scrolling through the item slot. That's how I've always done it. Tired now? When a monster's tired or limping, you always want to go ham with the charge attacks. Try and go for a mount here, but I whiff it a couple times. I think if you hit the monster's or the Kulu-Ya-Ku's rock a couple times, it'll break. But that'll cost you some of your weapon's sharpness, so it's a bit of a trade-off. Although whetstones are infinite in this game, so meh. It's only another few seconds to charge your weapon again. Just make sure that you're not vulnerable while you're sharpening your weapon. Like here, you always want to put some sort of object in between you and the monster, or make sure you have enough distance. Some situations, if you're low on health, just get the heck out of there. It's not worth dying. I haven't tested out if they have the dive yet with the ridiculous invincibility frames. They probably do. Here I get the mount. And I think I demonstrated here, but you can move up the monster's body, or at least I try to. Get a nice level 3 charge, and boom. I have a hard time just stopping my movement on the slope if my character wants to slide down instead of hit the monster. So it's a bit problematic, but nothing too bad. The monster actually got paralyzed here by the I can't remember what it's called, but I think it's called a spore of some sort. Or classified as a spore of some sort. Yeah, that's another thing that I like. Melee classes can now more easily inflict status ailments without having to have a sleep elemental weapon or a poison elemental weapon. There are environmental factors that you can use to inflict status ailments on monsters.
Able to pierce the thick shell of monsters.
Now it's limping, and all we need to do is bash its head in a couple more times. Pretty easy. It'll get much harder though. Take our time to gather honey. Haven't needed to use Mega Potions because the monsters haven't done very much damage to me. But oh, you will need them. Make no mistake about that. One positive thing about the Kulu-Ya-Ku is that it has no add-ons, so you don't have to worry about Jagrases constantly pecking at your feet and biting you, interrupting your charge attacks if you're a great sword user or a hammer user. I hate monsters that have ads. But I suppose there are some weapons with area of effect damage that can easily take care of things. How would you guys feel if they added magic spells to Monster Hunter? Like, would that be out of Monster Hunter's characteristics, or would you guys be totally fine with it? I would maybe like it if they explained it well enough. Like, it'd be a good enough excuse to add in more AoE damage to the game. But you kind of already get that with, like, some arrows. Some type of arrows. As well as with bowgun shots. Take a decent amount of damage here. Never be afraid to just run away and heal if the situation calls for it. Agile monsters tend to jump out of the way a lot.
Taking hits like that repeatedly will stun you, meaning you won't be able to move.
Yeah, that's another thing that monsters can do. They can build up your stun, just like you can build up their stun. If you take enough heavy hits, then you will be stunned, and then you'll have to press the left stick multiple times to get out of the stun. There are skills that can shorten the duration of the debuff for that, but I wouldn't recommend it. Unless you're fighting a monster that will stun you constantly. Then just go ahead and get that. I think it's called stun proof. Or stun resist, I can't remember which. The felines are also a great distraction for when you're sharpening your weapon. And there we go. That's one pulverized Kulu-Ya-Ku, ladies and gentlemen. Great work. Carve it up. Scale. 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 That was boring. Nah. Always take the minute that you have to gather as much stuff as you can. Wonderful. And with that, that is quest complete. I love the little palico dance that my cat does. It just looks so happy. He looks so happy that he killed a giant dinosaur. Yay! Who's a good little cat? You are! Thanks for making sure that the campsite is safe. I just cut that out since that was loading. And a new camp is now available. Yeah, that's gonna be nice. Gives you a little bit more variety.
Hello.
I haven't seen the Grimalkines yet. I don't know what exactly they look like, but I'm pretty sure I'll run into one sometime. So, for this episode, we hunted, well, we talked about the Great Jagras a little bit more in depth. We finished our first armor set, as you can see right there. And we hunted the Kulu-Ya-Ku and established a new spawn point for our quests. My name is Nightshade, and this has been episode 3 of Let's Play Monster Hunter World. I'll catch you on the flip side, and I'll see you next episode, ladies and gents. Bye-bye!